Well, one other thing that we kind of wanted to get your guys' reaction to that I thought was just a little bit more lighthearted and something that we could all just fucking laugh at together was this just like, I don't know, chauvinism, rich guys, having their laugh at the expense of taxpayers and the rest of us, right? So we've all been paying attention to the billionaire space race, right? Gosh, how could we not? This is the greatest moment in humanity since 1969. I mean, gosh, can you believe that Jeff Bezos independently went to space? Man, I just can't wait to grow up and be like that guy. No. Actually, there was a hilarious fucking video that Russell Brand made in response to all the billionaires. His was particularly Richard Branson because he's British. Where they just where he lambasted him. I wanted to play a segment of it for everybody just so we could react to it, get a little bit more lighthearted energy in here because nobody roasts billionaires better than Russell Brand.
Bezos' Instagram page. Congratulations on the flight. Can't wait to join the club.
Oh, it's a club, all right. You ain't in it. George Carlin. Branson's going to space. Musk's going to space. Bezos is going to space. I tell you, ain't going to space. You ain't going to space. But you are paying for other people to go to space in a variety of ways. Why is it so hard to see that these events that are presented as heroic endeavors actually have a very negative impact on ordinary people? Why does the media corroborate these dangerous new myths around billionaires, entrepreneurs, geniuses flying out into space when actually, don't you remember, people were going to space ages and ages ago? Yuri Gagarin, that was like 60 years ago. So what are we being told? What are we not being told? And what does the return of the space cowboy mean for ordinary folk like you and me?
He has set many global records. This was Richard Branson's attempt to achieve galactic ones.
Straight away, we're off. Richard Branson in a spacesuit, in sunglasses. There's no question that Richard Branson is a very intelligent person and a great business person. Rather than critiquing individuals, Bezos, Branson, Musk, let's look at the systems that underwrite their success and the way that this information is given to us. Because what we're being told and what we're being presented here is an intrepid and ingenious man. That might be true. But what's also true is that Richard Branson, hardly any time ago, was lobbying for a 500 million corporate bailout for Virgin at the start of the pandemic. Do you remember that? And do you remember that Virgin Care sued the NHS last year after it lost out on an £82 million contract to provide children's health services in Surrey? Oi, you won't let us provide children's health services? We're going to sue you because we love children that much. I'll see you in court. Also, it's worth remembering that Virgin Care paid no corporate tax in the UK. Healthcare campaigner Dr. John Lister accused Branson's Virgin Healthcare Group of playing a parasitic role in the NHS, fragmenting services and poaching NHS-trained staff and undermining nearby NHS trust. So you have to look at the totality of this story. The way that these endeavours are funded is in part through the evasion of corporate tax, through lobbying to change government policy and avoiding the kind of responsibilities that if you tried to avoid it, you wouldn't be going to space. You'd be in a different kind of shuttle altogether, shuttled off for 10 to 20.
His walk to the VSS Unity rocket ship, the steps of a man on the cusp of a lifetime's dream.
By focusing on Richard Branson's individual pursuits and successes, what's being obscured by this media reporting is literally what's really happening. This is from Mother Jones. Like fellow billionaires Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, who have recently captured headlines for their own privately financed space programs, Branson runs a very big business. He's been trying for 2 decades to get a space tourism endeavor to get off the ground, catering mainly to people like him, the extremely wealthy. Musk will charge $55 million to take a passenger to the International Space Station, and Bezos will charge $28 million, but will also sit next to the paying passenger himself. Fucking hell! Listen, I accept $28 million. Is a lot of money. Cozy up, buddy boy. It's worth every penny. Can I pay another $5 million to touch your leg? Go on, put it there. You can have this one for free. For all their iconoclasm and daring do and technical wizardry, Musk, Bezos and Branson are accomplishing their takeover of a government space program the same way their rivals in the defense industry have always done it, by lobbying. So they're taking control of government policy through lobbying. Another one of those things that don't you think should just be banned? That don't have lobbying anymore. Don't have that people that are working in healthcare make profits from it. That drug companies can't make a profit from anything in healthcare. Imagine how that would change the mentality. Oh, all of the geniuses won't bother. If they can't go to space, then we're not going to work. Well, I don't want people in charge that won't work unless they get shot off to fulfill their boyhood dreams in a space rocket. That's childish. That's a childish way to run a country. Can you see that the media are cooperating in the creation of a dangerous myth? The myth being, we need these great, powerful, real-life Tony Starks to go out to space to build us a future. We can't build a future collectively through our collective talents and our collective beauty and ingenuity. No, we're useless scumbags who can't participate in the creation of these brave new utopias. You just sit back quietly, and if you can't afford 28 million or 55 million to go off to space and hold hands with a billionaire as you look down at the earth and think, oh my God, what's happening to that rainforest? Then shut your mouth, sit down quietly and consume this crap and believe these stories.
A milestone for Richard Branson personally, but also one for commercial.
I just wanted to jump in and talk about a few things because there's a lot to unpack from that first moment. One, I think it's important to recognize a lot of people, talk about, the need for a nationalized health system in America as our end goal after Medicare for all, completely abolishing the profit motive from healthcare. And Richard Branson is actually on the is actually working actively in the UK to do the opposite. Right, he's trying to reintroduce private care into the UK, and it's having devastating effects on the NHS. They're underfunding it. They're lobbying it. They're suing the government. They're doing everything they can to create doubt that the NHS is not going to provide you as good a care as their private option. They're giving you all the kinds of the people of Britain, all this propaganda that is the same way that they fear great fear amongst a lot of the American electorate to fear a nationalized healthcare service. And then he's turning around and using that money to go to space. One, I thought the video was hilarious. Two, I thought that Russell Brand made so many great points. And I also think it's so important that we have the world has, and I would love to see an American rise like this too, where Russell Brand is extremely famous. He's been in blockbuster films. He has tabloid levels of celebrity, right? And nobody in the American left sphere has tabloid level of celebrity. So I just think it's interesting in creating a wider swath of public support. You see somebody like Russell Brand, that's not like indie left media. That's like watching Joe Rogan. He's at that level of stardom. So I feel like, having somebody like that explain the insanity of all of this is going to reach more people. But what was your guys' reaction?
I just wanted to jump in real quick before you guys start and say how absolutely insane it is that, the thing that we've always been fed is one of the great American achievements ever is like the moon landing, achievements of NASA, all that bullshit. And now it's pretty much just been accepted that that's all going to be gutted in favor of this private sector. So billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can just take it into their own hands and enrich themselves to the tune of billions and trillions of dollars off of this like space tourism bullshit. It's not in the furtherance of humanity or of any of our shared common international goals. It's all in the furtherance of profit and of this kind of ego bullshit. This is absolutely crazy. And again, I also want to point out that if you guys remember, a lot of this defunding of NASA actually took place under Obama that paved the way for now this ultra privatization of space travel, of this industry. But yeah, what did you guys have to think of this?
So I have 10 million responses. I mean, there's so many angles to attack this from. First off, it's space Disneyland. It's not, they're literally selling tourism that does nothing for humanity. Like it gets you above space and you get to fly around for 10 minutes and you're not traveling to another country. You're not traveling to another world or another planet. You're not doing any of that shit. Right. And so they're trying to sell this as like good for our country. Like they're going to take over and we're going to do all these experiments up in space. Bezos is saying like, we'll do all the stuff that is bad for the environment up in space. Really? You're really going to like manufacture in space, then ship it back when like right now, things from China, we have a shortage of everything because we can't get we don't have enough containers around to ship things back from China, but we're going to just do all that shit in space. And that's going to fix climate change, Yeah, but and then you got Bezos. The media fawns over Bezos giving two people $100 million to give out to whoever they want. Like he had this he gave, one of them was Van Jones. I don't know who the other one was, but it's $100 million because Van Jones won this award and he gets given out to the good little people wherever he wants, and somebody else does too. But meanwhile, he's being subsidized for like $3 billion. So and he makes 28 million on each flight. So think about how small of a coupon that is for all that free press he just got.
Yeah.
That's like giving out a taco at Taco Bell. Like, I mean, it's like, it's nothing in the big picture to the free press he just fucking got.
It's repulsive. And, there was a graph today I saw that was like the difference of the level of covering climate change this past week versus covering the space race on mainstream media. And it was almost exactly the same amount of time was given to these three yahoos who have like helped destroy the world. And they're just all, fluffing them up. And what's interesting, though, is that in the US, I think now the tides have turned against Bezos and Musk a little bit, but they're still pretending that, Richard Branson's one of the good ones. So it's nice to see that Russell Brand is out there telling the truth about him. We don't have that figure in the US. We really don't. We don't have a popular sort of mainstream, as you said, movie star, comedian who does that. And that's really a travesty.
Stewart, come on, man. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Please come back, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, and Mark Fisher actually was one of the first people to lay out this long before Brand had become this mainstay in YouTube politics. This was his early foray back in, I think, 2011, 2012, when Mark Fisher wrote his essay about the Vampire Castle, right, Gavin?
Exiting the Vampire Castle.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so he wrote this essay, Exiting the Vampire Castle, and he kind of laid out the exact benefits of having a working class figure like Russell Brand. And I think it's just incredible that he's been able to rise and rise and rise. And I wonder if it is something about the, socio-political realities of the UK being different than they are in America that has allowed that to happen. But I really hope that we could see a figure like that, a rise in America, because it would be so powerful, as you said, to have these figures called out in a big way. And also in that, exact argument, he laid out a response to this thing that, people like Joe Rogan in America push all the time. And I don't think it's the adequate response to, which is like, oh, we have to have the profit motive. Otherwise people won't want to do anything. Like, he's like, good, I don't want those fucking people in charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to say, look how hilariously goofy these billionaires look in their spacesuits.
It's just so sad. It's really pathetic.
This looks
His
like
cowboy
a
hat
dress
pictures
up.
is even worse, but yeah.
What was that, Pat?
Oh, Bezos in the cowboy hat. Did you watch him?
Oh my
talk to
God!
people
Yeah,
in
what's
the
he wearing?
closet?
Oh, because Space Frontier. Is that why he was wearing that cowboy
Yeah,
hat?
let me try to find that one too. Oh my God, so fucking goofy.
I didn't mean to change my background. Just by the way, I dropped out, and then when at the beginning of the show, when I saw Pat had a different one. Anyway, this was not intentional. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Look at that. Come on.
Yeah. He should be embarrassed and humiliated and shamed every day of his life. And the fact that that's not happening, we talk about this all the time, of course, but the mainstream media is 100% complicit in this nightmare. And one of those buffoons is probably going to run for president at some point.
Oh, God.